Hey guys, I'm Danae. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Hopefully you stay. I know I have not made a long-form content video in, I don't know, a couple weeks. It's been like 2-3 weeks or whatnot, just because of life. But today is Independent Bookstore Day, so I figured what better time to film a video with it being Independent Bookstore Day. So today, y'all about to get to come with me as I go to a few indie bookstores in my city. And so we actually have a lot of indie bookstores. Today my plan is to visit like 3. So I'm kind of just like doing a loop on like the ones that are closest to my side of town. But we'll see. I don't know what the crowds are going to look like. I don't particularly like being out with crowds, especially in smaller spaces. So hopefully with us having a lot of bookstores in my city, hopefully it's not going to be like too congested, because I know if I have to like navigate through a bunch of people, that's going to kind of just turn me off and make me just stop my day. So first one I'm going to is called the Bookery Cincy. And it's not a new bookstore, it's just new to me. I've never been, the ones I'm going to today, one of them I've been to, the other 2 are new to me bookstores, and that's why I specifically wanted to go to them, just to, you know, check out other indie stores in my city. I've been on a book buying pause, but you know, if it's Independent Bookstore Day and if I'm going to these bookstores, like, you know, I have to support. So I'm not gonna go and not support by buying something. So my plan is to like buy one book or one bookish item at each of the bookstores. Probably, you know, if I come across one that has been on my list to get, then that's what I'll do. So yeah, that's my plan for today. So up first is that one. I got my girls in the back with me, my son's with my husband, so it's just me and the girls today, kicking it and hanging out. Only want your love in the sun. At the next light, turn right.
If you actually took time to listen, you'd hear that her lyrics are actually deep and personal, and not just about relationship stuff.
They all sound melancholy like this. All of her songs, all of Olivia Rodrigo songs.
Yeah, and they're all
melancholy.
bangers. And they're all bangers.
I mean, they're cool songs, but like, I think if she's in a relationship right now, she's happy and she's not going to be able to craft a, you know, hit banger.
Yes, she will.
Turn left onto Columbia Parkway.
Like a lot of her songs that aren't about relationships, they're really good.
I haven't heard them.
Yeah, because you don't listen to her music. Of course you haven't heard them.
Do they come on the radio like this one?
No, but
Okay, so I guess I wouldn't hear those happy songs, but the ones that I hear that come on the radio, they all sound very depressing, like, who hurt you, girl?
I mean, they're not happy, but I mean, they're not all of them are about relationships.
Okay, well, I'd be interested to hear other material from her. So I think we're getting ready to come up on the bookstore. It says it's on my left, which means there's probably no dedicated parking, which makes me nervous. Hopefully I don't have to parallel park. I just hate having to do that. But I'm hoping that maybe they have a lot in the back or something. But yeah, we're getting ready to pull up on it. So I guess we'll see. Yeah. Okay, so we pulled up. It looks cute. We're going to walk in and see what it is. I know a lot of the places were doing like fun stuff between, you know, the hours of such and such, but it was early start times and I don't get out the house that early. You know, I got 3 kids, and getting myself and 2 kids ready, I'm not getting out the house that early. Unless I'm by myself, then I can do that, because all I have to do is work by myself. But since it wasn't that type of day today, I probably missed all of the like fancy things they were having, which was like the free Libro audiobooks for a year and the gift card, $100 gift card. It was like 2 that they were hiding in the store. Those have probably been long gone by now, so we'll see. over here. Yeah. Looks like they have some merch here, like bookish merch with their name on it, their brand. Ooh, okay, I done found the clearance table, and it looks like they got some good ones. All the books on this table are 70% off. Look who I see. Beverly Jenkins, I Have Wild Rain. Definitely probably gonna pick up this one, To Catch a Raven. I don't have that one yet. Okay, I think there was only 2 Beverly Jenkins, but definitely getting this one. I see my favorite, Oathbound and Bloodmarked. And here's my favorite section. So this is my first time in here, but it looks like they have a nice selection of romance. So let's see what I can find. I've already picked up 2 books, so we'll see.
Anyways, I guess it can be boring, but I like this one.
Me too. But they have Fourth Wing-ish. And look at this little library card one, y'all. My daughter said it was boring, so I guess I'm going to take her opinion because I trust her. So I'll leave this one behind. Clearance is for this is Beverly Jenkins. I thought this was cute because we had, you know, I thought this was cute, you know, black swimmers. So I'm like $8, 70% off. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna check out. A cart with free galleys. Too bad I didn't notice this right before I walked in because it's probably picked over now, but I found this cute one, so this one looks interesting as well. Belly Woman, Birth Blood, Ebola, The Untold Story. Sierra Leone ranked as the country with the highest death rate of pregnant women in the world. Yeah, I'm picking this one up too.
No, that's not the point. She's actually in her. Look at her.
Okay, so we just finished with bookstore number 1. That was called the Bookery Cincy, and I really like that one. I'm surprised I have never been there before, but it was cute. It's a smaller space, but they had a good selection of fantasy, romance. They had a cute children's section, which I loved. And they had a table where all the books on the table were 70% off. And so they had some good things on there. So I definitely had to partake in that and got a few from that table. And then outside they had a little like rolling cart where they had like advanced reader copies and just galley books that they were giving away for free. So if you saw something on there that caught your eye, you could take it. The sign said take as many as you want. Of course, I didn't want to be greedy. I wasn't going to take anything that didn't seem like a book that would interest me. So I got a few though. And so I can't wait to sit down and show you all what I got. But now we are headed on to bookstore number 2, and this one is the Book Matters. Okay, so I just pulled up to the second book stop. This one is called The Book Matters. So we're getting ready to hop in there and go check that one out. So as you can see, this is their kids section, which I absolutely love. I think this is the cutest little kids section. They have a large selection of books, and when I'm looking for books for my kids, I'm always looking for places that have diverse titles with lots of representation. I love to read books to my kids that have representation where they're going to see themselves, and as you can see here, they clearly had a lot of those selections. So I'm definitely loving that aspect of this cute little bookstore. They have so many, even teen, older kid titles as well as like the younger picture book titles. And then here, I absolutely love the decorations. It's so colorful, cute. Even this like vintage desk here, I think it just goes so well with the overall theme of the bookstore. Yes, baby. Hold on. Isn't that cool? So I thought that they had a pretty decent to semi-large selection of books. As you can see, there's Emily Henry's new release there, and then I've seen some books that I hadn't really heard of or seen before, so that's always nice when a bookstore has lots of different other titles. They had a decent romance section and fantasy section, and once again I did see a wide diversity in books. I saw a lot of books by Black authors, which of course, as I mentioned, I absolutely love. The only thing I noticed is that the book sections weren't really separated by like sections, so you just kind of had to find kind of what you wanted. I think each shelf was like a different section, like romance versus fantasy. They even had this little cool coin machine they give you coins for, and you can either get a book recommendation or a discount off your order. And as you can see, I got a 10% discount. Upstairs, they have primarily nonfiction, cookbooks, and a dark romance section. Now the dark romance section was pretty small, so if you are someone who likes dark romance, you're not really going to find a huge selection of dark romance there. But they had, Katie Roberts, Penelope Douglas, just not a really large dark romance selection. But for me, I'm not a huge dark romance person, so that really wouldn't be much of an issue for me. But I love being able to look over on the bottom floor, and I thought overall the vibe in here was just so cute and quaint. I loved it. And of course, we had to stop for a quick snack break. By this time, kids were getting hungry. My daughter wanted some boba, and the younger two wanted ice cream. So we stopped at this cute little ice cream shop and got some chocolate ice cream and some goodies to head back and kind of eat on our walk back to the car. So this was also vlogging. Okay, so I finished with the second book stop. That was the Book Matters. I intended to buy something, but unfortunately both of the options that I was looking for, they didn't have. I was trying to get Happy Land or Promise Me Sunshine. I told myself I would buy at least one book, and both of them they didn't have. So Happy Land was sold out, but they're like, I can order it and have it to you in a week. And then Promise Me Sunshine, they also was out of that. They had, of course, many other books, but I didn't want to just buy a book just to buy it. So I'm like, well, at least if I'm going to take myself off my book pause, I'm at least going to make sure I'm intentional about what I buy. And so I wanted to make sure that the books I was buying were books that were actually on my wish list or whatnot. And so they didn't have those two, so it just didn't work out. Then we just went, and of course everybody needed a snack break, so stopped for some boba tea, some ice cream, and now we're heading to spot number 3. This is the last spot. I'm actually getting hungry, and it's my kids are with me, so we gotta eventually make our way home. But book spot number 3 is Joseph-Beth Booksellers. That's another independent bookstore out here. And so when I get there, you're gonna see, now I've been to this one before. These previous two were new to me. This one I've been to before. They host a lot of author events, and so I went to my first author event there, which was the Tracy Dion author event, and I'm going to another one next month. So they're really good. They recently had Lila Sage there. They have a bunch of people coming through for book releases. And so yeah, I'll be going to one next month. And so it's indie, but it's like a huge one. They also have a Lexington location and a location like inside one of the local hospitals here. So yeah, that's where we're getting ready to head to now. Okay, so we just pulled up to this last book stop. This is book stop number 3, Joseph-Beth Booksellers. So let's go check it out. That is a cool car. Come on. Book stop number 3. Here we go. Joseph-Beth.
Now, in this
Kids, don't
store,
connect, but,
it's massive. It's so big, it almost doesn't feel, or you forget that it's indie, that it's an independent bookstore, but it is. And so I'm just going to film around so you guys can see just how big this store really is. And obviously, they do have a very large selection, so pretty much a large selection of most books that you could want, especially their young adult section. I've noticed they have a really vast young adult section, so there's so many young adult and fantasy titles as well. Romance is a little smaller than that section, but overall still had a pretty decent size selection. Unfortunately, here the 3 books that I was looking for, they didn't have, and so that's one thing with the indie bookstore. Sometimes they're not going to have what you want, simply because, you know, obviously they can't order a whole lot of inventory. Now this one, I think they do great with their inventory, but of course, with it being a special day, some people could have got there before I did and requested them or whatnot. So I was looking for Happy Land as well as Favorites and Promise Me Sunshine, and they didn't have any of those. So again, because I was on a book buying ban, I didn't want to just buy something just to buy it, but I did end up getting one book that I had been wanting, so I was able to still walk away with something, which was my plan and what I wanted to do. And when I get home, I would sit down and show you guys what I bought. And this is their YA section, y'all. Look at this. They have so many options, so many diverse titles. This one is so pretty, but it had no synopsis on it, which I thought was weird. Oftentimes I'll go in blind, but I just didn't want to, since, like I said, I am trying to be very intentional. But this was just one side of the YA section. Here's more here, and they even had like another row of YA books as well as this like new adult section. So if you're looking for YA, definitely come here. And I've officially made my way to the romance section. And so, yeah, as you can see here too, pretty large selection. They just unfortunately didn't have the specific ones that I was looking for. Of course, I'm sure I could have found something out of all of these titles here, but again, intentionality for me right now. And so the And this is one of my absolute favorite parts about this bookstore is the children's section. They have a huge selection of children's books, themed books. As you can see, they have the Mother's Day books out right now, since that's the next holiday coming up. They have so many different selections, from picture books for kids to, you know, books for older kids and, you know, teens 8 to 12. As you can see, not only is it a bookstore, but it's like a toy store in here as well. So I may have made a mistake by coming into here, because of course my kids see things they love. But look here at this diverse section here, which I absolutely love. I love to see all the representative books. Like, look at this. They have guitars in here, y'all. My kids are just like eyes wide open, asking and begging for things because they want something everywhere we go. But it's so cool in here. So many options. You could literally come in here and just be in here for hours, especially if you're looking for something to do with your kid. They have this like audience style seating for when they do story times. But this is just absolutely one of the biggest children's sections I've seen, even bigger than Barnes' children's section. So yeah, I love it here. And my kids do too. But again, enter at your own risk because they're going to ask for something. Then here we just have some Cincy themed things like that and souvenirs and such. And another Spawn romance section. And then here is a paperback of Harlem Rhapsody, which I haven't really seen. Paperback of People of Means, never seen this one. I have the hardback copy. And here we have James' paperback copy as well. But those are all large print, which I don't need. Okay, so I am finally home. I have finished my independent bookstore crawl that I just took it upon myself to do. And so now, time for the haul to show you guys what I purchased. First up, this package here. This is all from the Bookery Cincy. That's the first bookstore that I stopped at. So let's go through and see everything that I got there. No particular order. So first up, I bought this book for my kids, but I don't know. Hopefully you guys know who Prince is, but if you don't, I mean, think of Purple Rain. That's probably one of his most popular songs. There's a movie. So this is called Ordinary Days, and it's, I guess, about Prince, young Prince, before he became who we know as Prince. And I got this from the Bookery Cincy. First of all, I've never seen this before. So, of course, I'm on the hunt to find, like, any like unique things that I might see as well. I've never seen this, so I decided to pick this up. This is I got this for $6. So this was on sale for 70% off. Like they had an entire table filled with books for 70% off. So every book on the table was 70% off. So of course I had to get this. Cost me $6. Then I got this one here. So they had a card outside the bookstore and it was like galley copies, which is like maybe they got these as advanced reader copies, and so they're like gifting it to other people, which is perfectly cool, fine. They were all free. It said take as many as you want. I took this one, Belly Woman, which is about, it says birth, blood, and Ebola. And so this is about like black women or African women in Sierra Leone. They actually have the highest maternal death rate. And at the time too, this doctor went to visit out there, and that's at the height of like Ebola. So not only were these women pregnant and trying to, brief interruption. So this doctor was going out there to like basically help with the crisis. And at the time that he was going out there, apparently the same month, Ebola crossed over from Guinea. Ebola crossed over. And so as he's going there, he finds himself in the middle of an Ebola outbreak. So not only are they, I guess, trying to figure out this health disparity for these black women in their maternal death rate, but now they have like a global health crisis on their hands. Anyway, this was on the free card, so I'm like, yeah, definitely gonna pick this one up. Then I have another one that I got from the free cards. I don't really know what this is about, but it's called Will. I see black boy on a horse on front of it. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it says 1889, barely 25 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, a young black family is tired of working on land they don't get to own. So when Will and his father hear about an upcoming land rush, they set out on a journey from Texas to Oklahoma, racing thousands of others to the place where land is free if they can get to it fast enough. But the journey isn't easy. The terrain is rough, the bandits are brutal, and every interaction carries a heavy undercurrent of danger. And then there's the stranger they encounter and befriend, a mysterious soldier named Caesar, whose Union emblem brings more attention and more trouble than any of them need. All three are prepared by the promise of something long denied to them: freedom, land ownership, and a place to call home. But it is a strong will enough to get them there. This sounds super interesting. When I initially picked this up, because it says ages 8 to 12, apparently this released in January of this year, and it says ages 8 to 12. So my initial thought was one of the kids. I have a 14-year-old and a 6-year-old who's like a new reader as well, and she's actually, I would say, an advanced reader. So, maybe in a year or two, she'll be probably reading this, or my teenager can read it, or I might read it. It sounds really interesting. So those are the two books that I got from the Galley card. It said take as many as you need. I didn't want to take anything that I didn't think sounded interesting or nothing that I wouldn't read. So I saved the others for whoever else wants them. It was a little bit picked over by the time I got to it. I wish I would have got there earlier and to see if they had like any romances or anything. But these are two of the ones that was left that looked interesting to me. So I got those. And then these two were on the 70% off table along with the initial children's book I showed you. So
This is called The Door of No Return by Kwame Alexander. And it sounds like a young boy on the banks of the river. He loved these things above all else: family, fireside tales with his father's father, a girl named Amma, and of course, swimming. So he's a swimmer, and he's, I guess, has a rival, and he's going to race him, on a swim in the river. But apparently, there are secrets that the river holds, and he will soon discover these secrets. He was told never to venture there after nightfall, but never told why. Kofi seeks his own answers. One night is all it takes to transform a life. As his world turns upside down, Kofi ends up on a harrowing journey that steals him away from everything he loves. This sounds super interesting. So, this is a YA title, of course, but I think I'm going to read this for myself because it likes it. And I bought it because, for one, it was on the 70% off table, and I was drawn to it. The two black boys, the gold letter, and it just drew me in. So definitely got it. And then lastly, they had Beverly Jenkins To Catch a Raven. This was $2.70. There was no way I was leaving this behind. $2.70, $6. Okay. And then I also bought my kids. Hold on. And then my son actually snuck this in my bag. It's kind of cute, I guess, but this was $10, And so I know most of you probably aren't interested in children's books, but this is also something that I purchased. So I definitely did my thing to support indie bookstores today. So this was support of Bookery Cincy. And so the second bookstore I went to was the Book Matters. Unfortunately, I did not get anything there. I had intended to. Like I said, I planned to get one book at each bookstore. But was it three? Well, the two books that I requested, they didn't have either of them. I'm like, I'm just striking out today. But that's the thing with indie bookstores. It's great to support them. But of course, they can't order a whole bunch of inventory. So sometimes they don't have the things that you want. They offered to order the books for me, but I was just like, oh, it's okay. But I was interested in purchasing Happy Land and or Promise Me Sunshine. So they didn't have either of those. And like I said, with me being technically on a ban, I don't want to just buy things just to buy them necessarily. So I was at least looking to get books that I know were on my wish list. And so those were two of them that I could just think of off the top of my head. And they didn't have those. So no big deal, but I'll definitely go back. The bookstore was super cute. I love the vintage, quaint feel, the wooden floors. You guys saw it. Super cute. And so yeah, definitely go back. And lastly, at the last bookstore, Joseph-Beth Booksellers, you guys saw that. So it's an indie bookstore, but it doesn't feel like it because number one, it's huge, it's massive. They have another location in Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky, which is about an hour and a half from me. And then they also have a smaller location within one of our local hospitals here. But it's huge. You almost forget that it's an independent bookstore, but it is. But once again, I ran into the same issue of the books that I were looking for, they didn't have. So Happy Land, they sold out of, which is great for her. Great for Dolan Perkins Valdez. Absolutely great for her. So, I'm glad that these books are selling out, especially a book by a Black author. And obviously it has a lot of interest. So I love that for her. So I wasn't able to get that. And then I also tried to get the favorites. They were out of that. And then I also tried for Promise Me Sunshine by Carrie Bastone. They did not have that either, but I did manage to pick up Tina Knowles, The Matriarchs of Y'all. I'm a Beyonce stan. I love me some Beyonce. And so, of course, with her mom coming out with a memoir, I knew that I wanted to get this. And look, it is, first of all, it's cute. Cute book, cute end pages. But this is a signed copy. So, super excited about this. And they even have there's pictures inside. She has a bunch of pictures in here. And then she has, of course, pictures of Beyonce and Solange when they were young. Young pictures of them. And there's, just this is about her life. So, of course, this is going to be about Beyonce as well, and probably the start of Destiny's Child and how she was able to create just two bomb, talented, successful daughters. So, I am definitely interested to read this. I definitely got to put this on the priority TBR. So, and then, but I did pick up some bookmarks. These were free bookmarks. So I picked up like this Emily Henry Happy Place, and then People We Meet on Vacation. The back says, I don't think I knew I was lonely until I met you. Oh, the back of Happy Place says, You are in all of my happiest places. Love that. And then Beach Read, my personal favorite. The back says, I'm overwhelmed that you exist. I absolutely love that quote. That's also written in the special edition Beach Read if you have that one. And then we have Funny Story Bookmark, and the back says, Everything worth doing comes with some risk. I have not read that one yet. And then I got this bookstore, this bookmark as well. And then it just has like some books on the back. But overall, I had a great day. Kids came out, husband met us at a few of the places, and I enjoyed doing this. Out of the three bookstores I visit, of course, Joseph Booksellers. If you know that they're a great bookstore, they have a large selection, but of course, they're bigger than all of the other bookstores that I visit today. They are really big and huge. So most times they do have a great selection. They have a wide selection because they're just size wise, and of course, it's like a toy store on the inside too. So it's like I enjoy going there, but kind of made a mistake by taking my kids in there too because my kids are the type that they see something they think that they need to have it. So my kids were like begging for stuff and wanting things, and the little kids, my teenagers reminded me to say the little kids, not her because she's 14, and I don't agree with that. But my kids think that they're supposed to get something every time we go somewhere. So they're like finding things for them, and of course they got it. So anywho, then the Bookery Cincy, much they were the smallest bookstore out of the three that I visited today. Um, but I love their selection, even though they were small. I thought that they had a wide selection. You know, they had fantasy, romance, a great kids section, sci-fi. They had most of the sections that you would look for in a bookstore. And I also, when I go to bookstores, I like to look for diversity as well. Are you stocking Black authors? Are you stocking Black children's books? Are the books that you're stocking for your kids, are they diverse? Do they have diverse characters? Do you have some of the Black authors that I would be looking to get? And they did. So plus for them, the Book Matters also felt that they were diverse as well. You can see in some of the video footage that I posted, they did have a lot of diverse kid titles as well as diverse young adult and romance titles. So plus on all three of those today for diversity, because that is what I'm looking for when I'm going into bookstores, especially like the indie bookstores too. I want to make sure that I'm spending my money at people who champion diversity and who promote and support Black authors as well. And I'm happy to say that in my city, these three that I visited today, they all did so. So I definitely will be visiting them more often, especially the Bookery Cincy. That's closest to me. Well, Joseph-Beth is pretty close to me as well. So those two are closer to me. The Book Matters is a little bit further out, maybe like a 20-minute drive. So, of course, not too bad at all. But definitely see myself going to visit all three of those. Joseph-Beth, like I said, that's not new to me. But the other two were new to me and definitely will go visit them again. So, if you're ever in the Cincinnati area, definitely go and visit those three bookstores. If you're looking for bookish things to do, there was like two other ones that I wanted to go to, but I just didn't have the time. I had my kids with me, and frankly, I started getting tired. I started getting hungry as well. So, there's another one that I want to shout out. It's called The Bookshelf. It's in Madeira, and it is another great option that I used to stop into when my daughter was going to preschool around that area. So if you're looking for bookish things to do in my area, that's another one. And then lastly, I actually really like this one a lot. It's called um, the Book Bus. I think it's called the Book Bus, Cincy Book Bus or Book Bus Depot. And but that was a lot further out. I was trying to stay in like like do a loop in the ones by me. And so I didn't make it there, but that's another great one. And it actually has a literal like book bus on the inside, like a Volkswagen book bus on the inside, and of course shelves outside of that bus. But they take that bus around as not for profit as well, and so all the proceeds go to like getting books into kids' hands. And so I think that's so cool. It's also connected to coffee shop. So you could do the whole book and coffee day, go get your little coffee or get your book, then go get a little coffee, sit at the table, read, whatever. So shout out to them. Go visit them as well if you're looking for indie bookstores in my area, or if you're in my area and weren't sure that these existed, here you go. But yeah, I think I've talked long enough here, so I'm going to wrap things up. But thank you so much for watching. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, and comment. Comment below. Let me know what you guys did today to celebrate for Independent Bookstore Day. I know a lot of different states and cities did their own thing with their own individual bookstores. So if you partake in the day, if you celebrated and supported any of the indie bookstores today, let me know what you did and how you celebrated in your city. I do talk back, so feel free to comment and I'll chime in. Thank you guys once again for watching. See you next video. Bye.